everyone around the table can continue to brainstorm on. And I don't know if there's GVSU students or members of our local churches that are in the network of folks who could volunteer for things like that. But my brain's working. So you had coming to you next. And apologies, can you say your name and your service? I know you said Marines.
Yeah, so Jamal Stewart, United States Marine Corps, served 4 years during the Gulf War. So what I wanted to talk about is 2 points. Kind of one, first and foremost, thank you, Dave, for letting me know about this. I had no clue this was going on, which is going to lead to my first point. There is so many services. You see a whole board of members here that have all sorts of programs and things that can serve veterans, but it's not reaching veterans. To Paul's point, they only have 6 people that utilize their transportation. Why is that? We're not connecting. And I think from a community standpoint, both from a local, state, but also a federal opportunity, is to try to reach those, one, who don't get this information, right? Whether it's transportation, whether it's to your VSO who can help you versus a lawyer who's trying to stab and take money from you to say, I can get you 90% right off the bat, just give me $100. Right? And that's starting to be even more on Facebook. If you look at it, it's like, hey, I can get you 100% just by, this. The idea that they see this is 2 things that I've noticed in the 4 years I've been advocating for veterans in my nonprofit is that there are several percentages of people that don't identify. So this 22 a day, that's double, because we got half of the people out there that don't identify that they're veterans because they don't either A, feel they have the backing, or they are almost ashamed, right? And so the big thing I want to understand is, from a federal standpoint, is there opportunity that we can co-align all the services together? Because, like with the Veterans, West Michigan Coalition and the other ones, right? They have so many good programs, but in isolation, they're not being utilized. And what I see across different counties is one county, Ottawa County, Muskegon County, Kent County, I talk to the individuals, they can't go outside their boundaries. The one point I want to bring up is I'm helping a veteran right now that I'm advocating for. He's from Toledo, Ohio, but he's a Michigan resident. He's down in Ann Arbor right now because he fell and lost his right eye in an accident. And what happened is he's in Ann Arbor, he gets discharged here in 2 days, right, on a Tuesday, but he's homeless. How does he go now from that being a Toledo to a Michigan, right? Now we're working with all the advocacies down there in Toledo or Ann Arbor, but there's nothing to get him to stay so he can recover here in Michigan, come back as a resident and work, which is what he wants to do, right? So that's my first point, is that we got to get to those that don't get this information. We got to get to those that don't identify. I work at GE Aerospace. I talked to 10 people in the last 2 weeks because of this thing going around with the voting. They are veterans, but they don't identify, they don't go for claims, they don't even want to, because of what they've heard from older veterans that say, hey, VA sucks. Don't go to American Legion, all they are is a bar. So this stigma out there that's something we gotta overcome. Is there something the federal government can do on that? And then my second point real quick is, what that whole thing with that the VFW, thank God for them, stopped that medication bill that went out. Is that dead, or does that have opportunity to come back in full-fledged?
I mean, asking me to predict what the Republican leadership in the House is going to do next is something I try not to predict. We thought that this, veterans bill, the so-called Take Care of Our Veterans bill, was dead after they pulled it away the first time, and then they brought it back. So, they're able to bring these bills back to the floor at any time. We're out of session right now until the end of August when we get back in September. A huge priority for us is obviously going to be trying as much as we can to get a budget passed by the deadline, September 30th, and a number of other different priorities. So we're hoping, right, that sanity prevails a little bit and we can focus on true priorities, but I can never guarantee, right, what they're going to try to do. To your first point, I don't know that there's necessarily a federal legislative solution about connecting our veterans in a better way, but I think that individual members have a huge responsibility to take care of their veterans in their district, and that's something I take very seriously, which is why, I'm choosing to have a roundtable like this to, connect folks from a number of different spaces on a Sunday afternoon. Why, when Congressman Liu, a veteran from California, is like, I'm gonna be here, out of all the things you want me to do, what do you want me to do? And I'm like, let's talk to our veterans, let's bring them together. That's how much of a priority it is for me. So thank you so much for being here. Additionally, we have remote office hours. We send our constituent services staff out to a number of different places. And I'm not sure if I'm able to announce this or not, but we're hiring a green and gold fellow, one of a number of offices. It's a program that allows veterans to come and work in an office specifically to work on veterans related issues. And I'm very honored to be one of just a handful of offices around the country that's been chosen to have that fellow. So that person is going to be focused on going out and connecting exactly the problem you identified. It's something I identified as soon as I took office. It's like there's all these services, but people don't know about it. They feel really dejected. And so that person is going to be an additional voice for me in the community to help hear about what we need so that I can connect those to our federal legislative solution. So, yeah.
So as you know, most of the time when I tell a member of Congress I'm going to be in their district, they have me go to a fundraiser. Hillary decided to have a Veterans Roundtable. So you should know how awesome your member of Congress is.